Hello, Shawn. You are obviously not the first person to try to shove this morality lecture down our throats, but I will start with you to respond to these religious arguments on morality. You didn't invent them, so I think if I respond to you, it'll answer a lot of other people's claims, and hopefully I won't have to do this again. Well, actually, if you do have something good to say, then I could respond to that, and I hope that turns out to be the case. You ask, what if? What if? What if there's a creator? And what if the creator did this and did that and that and that and that, and he'll judge us? Well, you can say a lot of what ifs, but ultimately comes down to Pascal's wager. And the best answer I have for Pascal's wager, and I subscribe to this, I learned this on YouTube. A guy said it right. And that is, if God is just, I have nothing to fear. If God is not, I have nothing to gain. I really don't see how I would act any much differently than I already do today had God existed. And I think if you say you're going to act differently if you were convinced God didn't exist, that's kind of sad because that basically means, as far as I can see, that you are only acting the way you do because you're afraid of an invisible monster that will punish you for eternity after you die. That basically the life today and the law of society, the norms we have, the social contracts, are not a good enough incentive for you to do and don't the things that you do and don't. I mean, that's pretty sad, just saying. I mean, I really don't need to debate anybody about what I believe is right or wrong in terms of uh, is murder right or is lying wrong. That is quite meaningless to me. I'm more interested in when you say something is wrong, does that mean you will 100% of the time not do it? Because if not, then I really want to know what the hell right or wrong means. So I'm interested in, for practical purposes, will you 100% of the time not kill somebody, or will you 100% of the time not tell an untrue statement knowingly and intentionally? If you might do it some of the times, then that's all you have to say. I don't care whether you believe it's right or wrong. When you say if there is no absolute morality, then it's all down to personal preference. That is not true. There are certain things that keep us from having our personal preference or exercising our personal preference. That is anywhere between incentive to threat. And you have social contracts, you have man's law, you have a lot of other things. I mean, ultimately, though, it comes down to might makes right, no matter how you try to fancy it up. All morality and all things come down to might makes right. When you say that if there is no absolute morality, then one man cannot tell another man that he is wrong in doing something, I say to that, well, yeah, so? I mean, so what if you could say to me that lying is wrong and killing is wrong? If that's not going to convince me to not lie and not kill, what difference does it make? Now, if you're able to convince me not to kill and not to lie, then does it really matter if I believe it's right or wrong? Do you see what I'm getting at? I don't care about the words right or wrong. I care if you could put into practical phrases, am I going to do something or am I not going to do something? When you're faced with the situation, can you consistently apply one rule or one set of rules to decide and determine what is your best course of action? That is what I'm interested in. When you say, Shawn, that the Bible makes objective claims about morality, I really kind of need you to point me out where it says so. Where does the Bible say that doing A is right and doing B is wrong? Period. No if, and, or but, for no reason other than God said so. I mean, that I think that's the actual definition of objective, right? Because if there's a reason something is wrong, then, or if there's a reason God said something is what it is, then is that still objective? Or is your definition of objective simply something that is not subject to your opinion? Because something can be objective without being Christian. Something can be objective without being good. You can say Islam and Hinduism or Jainism have objective beliefs. And by objective, they mean that it was handed down from God to man and it isn't subject to your opinion. It's not up for debate. So being objective really means nothing more than it's not up for debate. So if you're not going to answer any of my other questions, I really want you to answer this one. And this goes for every Christian who wants to talk about morality. Okay? Do you need God to tell you that you are going to hell if you do or don't something for you to do or don't something? Or do you need an incentive or threat after you die rather than in this lifetime for you to decide whether you're going to do something or not do something? I prefer the answers yes, no, maybe, yes, and no. I don't know, or please don't word it that way, that's very misleading. So I hope I made it clear. I'm not interested in semantic debates. I'm interested in whether you can tell me, do you live what you claim you believe? When you say, I believe or subscribe to objective morality, I want to know, how do you? Or do you? Really? Do you really not lie because you believe it's objectively wrong? Do you just say lying is objectively wrong, but I won't promise that I'll never do it? Then I'm not interested in what you believe is objectively wrong. Okay?